Siouxland, we're used to the weather making headlines and have plenty of practice dealing with weather watches, warnings, and more. But this system, which dates back decades, could be in for an upgrade. Meteorologist Elisa Raffa joins us now to tell us why.
Do you understand the difference between a weather watch and warning? If an advisory replaces a watch, is that a downgrade? These are questions causing some head scratching, and it's prompting the National Weather Service to research some changes. Tomorrow's weather will get nasty. We have a blizzard watch in effect in the pink for northern Iowa. Words we hear all too often, but what does it actually mean? The U.S. Weather Watch Warning Advisory System has been in place since 1948, but both technology and weather has evolved since then. Does it work? The National Weather Service has teamed up with social scientists to come up with the answer. Dr. Gina Esco, senior social scientist and weather risk communication expert, has been studying how people currently understand weather terms, checking if they're useful and if a new system would be worthwhile.
There is a spectrum of understanding of these terms across the United States. So you have everything from complete understanding of the watch warning advisory terms to perhaps people who need a little bit of assistance on the other end.
Currently, weather watches are issued in advance of a weather event to give people a heads up. Both warnings and advisories are issued as imminent weather occurs, suggesting you take action, with a warning signaling dangerous impact. But do people understand the difference? Will small amounts of snow change routine in any way? Todd Heitkamp, warning coordination meteorologist at the National Weather Service in Sioux Falls, isn't too sure.
I think it's foolish for us to really sit here and think that a person's going to change their daily routine based upon an advisory that we issue when we say it's just going to be a nuisance event. It's a nuisance, then don't tell me.
Another issue? The giant Crayola crayon box of 124 colors used to represent weather hazards. Is that too many?
Yes, it's way too many. We have too many shades of colors that are too close to each other, that people that are colorblind are having many issues with it. Even if myself, that is not colorblind, I look at that map and I can't tell if that's the same shade of red or not. But when you're talking about that many different colors, there's that many different types of hazards out there. So then we really have to take a look at, really, do we need to issue all those watches, warnings, and advisories for each one of those hazards?
Others suggest a stoplight color system similar to the one used in Europe, utilizing action words in just 3 to 4 colors to represent weather hazards.
And I think all users, including the public, would like to see is a hierarchical tiered system. In other words, perhaps it's low, medium, high risk, or no action required, stay aware, begin preparations, take action now, for example.
But will a simple system work for a place like Siouxland, where weather ranges from tornadoes to ice storms? For this reason, the NWS is rolling out experimental products across the country this year to ensure that the new system works for you, whether you live in Tornado Alley or tropical Florida.
We want to make sure that we're consistent enough such that you could travel around the country and you would understand your weather risk anywhere. But again, on the other hand, you want to make sure the system has enough flexibility to work for each of the unique audiences.
It may be a challenge, but Dr. Esco says it's a fun one. Things on the radar. Todd Heitkamp of the National Weather Service says he hopes to see some changes be put into action. What changes will occur, we don't know yet. Again, the National Weather Service will roll out experimental products this year so that you at home can have input as to how you would like to be warned about weather hazards.
It's very interesting. You must obviously have some thoughts on this.
I sure do. You know, the most important thing is that when there is a warning, that people know what that means and what they're supposed to do. And watches and advisories are important as well. But I think there is some confusion in the general public. I encounter it all the time. People don't seem to know exactly what those terms mean. Some do and some don't, but until everybody knows and is clear, then we're not going to have the response that we're looking for when those products get issued and we communicate those over ABC9.
And whatever the changes, it's good. They're taking a real close look.
Yeah, really close. They're looking at policy and insurance and all things that could affect any changes. So they're going to take their time, and you guys will have the input. So that's all good news as well.
Thanks, Elisa, for that report. Real interesting. A facility for